Ladies and gentlemen, we now begin with our first technical session of the day. And the session, like I said, is on the compressed biogas powering the future. May I request our distinguished speakers of the session to kindly join us onto the stage. Please put your hands together as I invite onto the stage Executive Director CBG, Gas Authority of India Limited, Shri S. N. Yadav. May I request you, sir, to kindly join us onto the stage. I also invite Chief Operation Officer, Reliance Bioenergy, Reliance Industries Limited, Mr. Bashir Shirazi, to kindly join us onto the stage. Warm welcome to you. I also invite the Chief Operating Officer, IAV, Biogas Adani Oil Tanking, Shri Atul Karate, to kindly join us onto the stage. I'm privileged as I now request Director KIS Group, Mr. Sunil KM, to kindly join us onto the stage. We also welcome the Associate Business Director, Evonik India Private Limited, Mr. Ashish Maheshwari, to kindly join us onto the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as I invite the moderator of the session, Expert Advisor Indian Biogas Association, Colonel Rohit Dev, to join us onto the stage. Can we bring in a little more energy? We are beginning with our conference and there should be a lot of energy and excitement in the hall. Thank you so much. May I request the moderator of the session to kindly take over.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. Jain. We are here for an engagement and the clock says 75 minutes, a little less. So ample time. We can start with the Q&A first, or you want me to moderate some kind of a discussion first? So let's have a first round and we'll start from the extreme right. And I would like all our panelists, and they're all esteemed in their field. They are running businesses, they are running technologies. And I believe there couldn't have been a better panel constituted by Indian Biogas Association to kickstart this moment on 6th of October. I'm quite sure all of us are now relaxed after that traffic jam fiasco in the morning, and we are raring to go, right? So we'll start with you, sir, first, and in the same order of no seniority here. So from the extreme right towards Maheshwari ji, please introduce yourselves in a little bit, and what business do you do in your company? What are your key result areas which you have identified in your company in this CBG sector? So if we can start with you, sir, first, and then come on this side.
Thank you very much for inviting me this occasion. Basically, I am from the GAIL India Limited. I am S. N. Yadav, Executive Director, Compressed Biogas. A new business vertical has been created recently, seeing the importance of the CBG for the country. So basically, GAIL India having two roles. First, you have to install some CBG plant by your own. And second, that is most important for the audience today sitting here, that we have been authorized from Ministry of Petroleum Natural Gas to operationalizing CBG CGD synchro scheme. I hope everybody might be knowing. If not knowing, I can tell little bit, and later on if you ask more questions, then I reply accordingly. Basically, as you know, that supplying of natural gas to domestic sector, transportation sector is the priority sector for the government of India. Therefore, the APM gas which is being produced domestically is being given to this sector on priority. Priority in sense that this gas is cheaper than whatever the gas being imported. As you know, that as on date, 50% consumption is being catered by domestically produced gas and 50% being imported. So as on date in country, around 36 to 38 million MMSMD gas being consumed by this domestic PNG and CNG. So in this, there is a scheme that if CBG is going to be mingle with this gas, so some mandate might be coming from the government that they will allow 5% mixing of the CBG initially, and the price of the CBG has been 1380 per MMBTU rupees in rupee term. So you can say in the dollar term it will be something 16.5. So anyone, if he is mixing, supplying gas CBG, so it will mingle, then will make the uniform base price. Suppose we are getting APM at $6.5 per MMBTU, and this CPG gas is coming 16.5. If there is a mandate of mixing of 5%, so overall price of supplying of this gas to the CBG CGD entity will be the $7 instead of the $6.5. And for this mandate has been given to the GAIL to make operationalize to it. So that's all I want to say. That if audience later on ask more questions
Thank
on
you,
this
sir.
issue, I can
Thank you
tell
so
the
much.
detail. Thank
Bashir
you
ji,
very much.
I would request you to talk a little bit about yourself and how Reliance is foraying into this sector, and how do you see this entire segment coming along, say, as a vision level of 10 more years in terms of investments Reliance is going to make in the sector, and how you're going to take this journey ahead? Because I believe that there were two major players in the corporate business holds. One was you and was on Adani, who near simultaneously last year announced a lot of investments into bioenergy, and one saw that off the block Reliance took off a little, clearly ahead in terms of the boiler segment of the industry while doing densification of biomass. But the Adani group took off in the sense of the CBG, in that sense. So how do you see Reliance? And we will have like to have a little more, kind of input from you, because I think between you and Atulji, you're going to be shaping a lot of drive in this sector, and a lot of inspiration will come to the audience here from at least these two business houses per se, when people look at the future of this segment as well. So give us a broad sense of what Reliance vision is and how you want to take this ahead in the segment of CBG per se, and also if you can talk about the bioenergy spectrum as well.
Thanks, Rao. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Rohit. Uh, I'm Bashir. I'm CEO of Reliance Bioenergy. Right now, our vision is to make this sector successful. Because unless we make the sector successful, so there is no headway to this. Because as in the inaugural session, it has been emphasized that governments and other sectors working on this from so many years, but this sector has got the traction, say, in last 3 years, 4 years. So the major roadblocks were like, availability of feedstock, then appropriate technologies, then there are no encouraging policies. Now, I think all these things are coming on the table now. The business sense is coming into this sector. So that's why the investments also coming in. Now, if you see in India right now, till today, we don't have any commercially operating project on a desired levels, whatever we have desired. But the industry is in a view that in couple of months or in years, we will reach to the point where we are all aspiring to, at least in the CBG. So even today, we are struggling with the technologies, like hardly there are, we can count on our fingertips. We have very limited technologies, technology players available in India. So, and also we have feedstock challenges. Except Satat and government of UP and some policies from Punjab, we are not found any encouraging policies from other states, and other states are all working on this. So as a whole, we all have to collectively see that how to make this sector successful first. Otherwise, this boom will come and it will die down to its natural death for a period of time. So to keep this sector moving, because our chairman believes in this bioenergy as much as in the conventional energy, so he already announced that we will be developing 100 projects, and we are committed to it. We are developing 100 projects, and we are very much committed, and we have got stringent targets to develop these projects. We are closely working with the governments, we are closely working with the technology partners, and we are also working closely with the feedstock side. So committing 100 projects across India is itself is a commitment to make this technology or this sector successful, so that we are having, like we are helping the country to reach its commitment of net zero, and also, like, I don't want to repeat all those things, like solving the problems, whatever problems we are facing on the biomass side, the pollution levels, and imports. So obviously these problems will be solved, but ultimately, unless we all work together and make it happen, that whatever a government of India is aspiring to have 5,000 projects, and out of which our first commitment is 100. So I think that is a big contribution from our side, that we are very much committed to deliver this in the timeline whatever has been committed.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think wish you all the success with the first 100 being announced, and hope all the challenges are mitigated in due course, including from policy enunciation to feedstock availability. Because I'm quite sure both the major groups' finance should not be an issue at all. Beyond that, I think the struggle is basically upstream, like I understand from your conversation. Atul, coming to you with the same mandate, and give us a larger picture of how you personally see the CBG sector evolving in maybe a decade's time, and then how do you as a leadership role in a company visualize your company enabling this segment? Because see, it's been a long time, and like Shukla ji said that um, we've had phases of bioenergy ups and downs, and the first one was in the earlier part of the decade in 2012-13, and all the power projects based on biomass are NPS today, right? And then today the struggle is that if I take myself back 5 years, Atul, and we were there together, and you will appreciate that we used to go to the market and talk about the feedstock, right? And then technologies have come around that feedstock, which are going into multiple domains. If I talk only about the agricultural waste, it goes into the domain of boiler, it goes into chemical changes of biofuels, so you name it, from compressed biogas to E2G to SAF coming through, and the government also mandating a portion of green hydrogen from the biomass route for the development of the rural economy. I think these two are the major segments, and then you have enough subsidiaries. Today you can make shoes, you can make jackets, crockery, cutlery, stationery, all from biomass. In fact, one of the persons I mentored, he sir has sold, a year back, one container of beverage straws to Hayat Dubai, and I asked him, how much money did you make? So he said, sir, I made all the capex and the opex and the profit. Right. So that's where it is going. And so my gut feeling is, while it's a challenge today for the feedstock, it may not be a challenge in 15, 20 years time, because the commitment of this feedstock is limited. Whichever study you take from MNRE to whichever side, 238, 250 million metric tons is limited. I mean, if you want to actually burn in boiler of a 10 TPH category, you need only 25,000 boilers, right? So in this landscape of the future, where there will be multiple use of the same biomass or same municipal waste for various derivative based technologies, how do you think, Atul, this entire segment of CBG should shape up? And what are the challenges beyond the upstream feedstock challenge, which Bashir has spoken about? Any other challenge which you foresee? And if you can just have a sort of a guide and a meltdown towards the entrepreneurs as well. So it's a long ask. You can take it in parts. You can cover a couple of parts now, and maybe in the second round, the next part.
Sure. Good morning, all. So, first of all, let me thanks IBA for having all of us in terms of very CBG specific interaction today. Uh, I'm Atul, representing Indian Oil Adani Ventures Limited, formerly called Indian Oil Tanking. It's a joint venture of Indian Oil Corporation and Adani Ports and SEZ. We have this specific vertical in terms of renewable business, and under that renewable business, the first line of business is biogas. We have operating plant at Namakkal in Tamil Nadu. So that plant is a flagship plant of the country. It was commissioned in 2019 end. And if you see the today's consumption of CBG in the country, around 15 to 17% of the CBG is produced from the independent plant of IOV biogas of Namakkal. So that's the contribution plant is having in the current volume. And we have a definite plan to expand in this segment. However, there are certain sort of policies and framework which we are also looking for. So just to give a perspective in terms of CBG specific interactions, today we have 48 numbers of plants up and running, and around 2,200 plants, the LOIs are issued. We as a country talked about 5,000 number, but I personally don't see that 5,000 number as an sort of very targeted number of segment in next couple of years. So we will put those numbers aside. Even if we as an able to put all OMCs plus the JV partners and oil marketing companies support stakeholder sort of team, 1,000 numbers of sizable plan is going to add a lot of value to this business in the coming days. So we have to basically split those 5,000 numbers in next 5-year plan and then another 5-year plan, something like that. That will be more appropriate. Coming back to CBG as an potential, today in the whole energy basket or energy pie, we can say the gas is contributing at the level of 6.8%. That's how we see a big sort of quantum opportunity here for the CBG industry. And this 6.8% of gas contribution in Indian energy scenario, if you have to compare with the global scenario, that is at the 23+% of level. So this is self-explanatory in terms of the opportunity for industry to contribute here. And CBG, we have started the journey in terms of institutional level plants, I can say from last 4-5 years. With the, so like IOC and other oil marketing companies taking lead in the form of Satat. Although the stalwarts people like Shukla Saab and these people have been working in this field from more than a decade now, I think that's why today we are in position to enjoy this status of making it an industrialized and commercial side of CBG business. When we talked about the feed available quantum in terms of agriculture and MSW is such a high level that very easily we can go up to 70 MMTPA of CBG with the available feed. And under the first level of, say, our vision or target, we are trying to reach to 15 MMTPA. So that is very much feasible, very much industry plus OMCs can put their hands together, and the support from government in terms of various industry relevant policies, if it happens in the coming, nearby time, I can see a high level of potential for the CBG industry to grow. So with this thing, I will take a pause. Maybe in the next phase, then I will cover what type of policy and support we are looking from the government agencies and various departments.
Thank you. Thank you, Atulji. Sunilji, coming to you next, and firstly, welcome. And you're from the KIS group, and when I was in the military, the acronym used to be keep it simple. All right. So I am quite sure you'll keep it simple with for us because your technology is great. Just want to take a perspective first. You can probably introduce yourself in your company as well, and then would like to know from you that you've been doing these projects world over, right? What is your perspective in terms of your experiences across the world, and especially in the light of this global biofuel alliance being announced with us, Brazil, and US spearheading it? What kind of a ecosystem you think should be developed in India to support the project level implementation as you have experienced worldwide? So over to you, please.
Good morning. Hope I am audible. So, good morning. So, it's a great pleasure to be here on this dais. Thank you, IBA. Thank you, Informatics, for this great event arrangement. I am from KIS Group. We have almost more than 18 years experience in this biogas field. Probably KIS was ahead of the curve. So because we have more projects, biogas projects, like a biogas CNG or biogas to power generation. More projects operating in abroad than India. So probably that is because we are ahead of the curve, because most probably when I was talking the biogas projects 15, 16 years ago, people used to say, okay, we'll see later. That was the trend. That was the trend. Because people are running behind the solar, wind, so many other renewable energy. And thanks to the government under the able leadership of our Prime Minister for the bringing in the initiative like a Satat scheme, which has really ignited the desire to go for the renewable energy in the biogas field for the people. Looking at these schemes as a question, so what is the initiatives by the governments? I see this is one of the best initiatives when we compare it, because we have been doing many projects in Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, even up to Papua New Guinea. This is one of the best initiatives. I would appreciate the government for bringing this very good initiative. And the next question, what are the challenges and what are the changes we need to have? We have many biogas to biopower and biogas to bio-CNG projects operating in India. And sadly, I would say sadly, even though LOA is in place, many of our customers are not able to sell the complete quantity to the OMCs. Sorry. So that is a scenario, that is a practical, that is a truth. Maybe sometimes truth is bitter. What I request is, at least OMCs should commit to the LOA holder, minimum 70% take or pay basis. At least 70%, they should take the CNG, the production plant, or otherwise they have to pay for the amount. That is one change I would request.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Maheshwariji, we have met on many forums, so you're a very technical guy. So let me, give you the floor to firstly introduce yourself in your company, and also tell us how Sepuran is a very niche technology and how is it different, and how is it going to pitch against the requirement of the industry with those many LOIs, in the making, in terms of the economies of scale as well, because technology does not come cheap at all. So if you can just highlight about that technology, something about the price points and what is the level you're looking at its implementation, where costs are not exorbitant, they are actually conducive to projects to be implemented.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Myself, Ashish Maheshwari from Evonik, India. Evonik is the world's leading company for the specialty chemical. Right now, we have the products like Sepuran, as mentioned by Colonel Sir. So Sepuran, we are celebrating the milestone of 1,000 successful plants on this biogas purification application. So this technology is much more reliable, consistent for in case of biogas purification. When we look at the comparative technologies like PSA or amine, there are need of auxiliary like water, wastewater, or chemical. But as compared to this is a hollow fiber membrane technology which works on the selectivity. So it will precisely separate out the carbon dioxide and methane. That is one key area we are developing. Sepuran green. Yeah.
Right. So I'll come back to you again because part is not answered. I'll go to Shri Yadav ji from GAIL and ask him about the offtake of the CBG into the grid. What are the kind of challenges which we have mapped because you've been instrumental in shaping their grid as a plan with MOPNG, and what are the challenges and what have you achieved so far in terms of mitigation, and what work is still work in progress?
Okay. Basically, as was being discussed that so many LOI has been given under Satat scheme, and after the, but actually out of those LOI given to under Satat, only a few has started the production and selling the CBG to the OMC. And then the CGD synchronous scheme, till now, we are getting gas around 33 TPD only. Only 33, which is very, very less. And out of that, at only one place I came to know, in Nadiyat, that injection is started in the MDP line. And some few places, it is being injected in the virtual pipeline. It means that it is directly going to the RO under CBG CD the synchronous scheme. So I can say that not yet started. But for starting, there are some challenges regarding the standards because PNGRBs are having some standards. This biogas is having some standards. There's some mismatch. For injection of the CGD network, there's certain guidelines that H2S ppm should be certain level, the CO2 percentage should be certain level. So both these standards should be synchronized. So that is one challenge. So once that will be done, certainly people will come, approach for injection. And one more thing is there, that because of disruption of the gas supply imported RLNG, which was being imported, the price was very high. So those who are producing CBG, they are preferring to sell the CBG directly to industry in cascade cylinder. But once those price, what are the imported price is going down now, so now this price will be very lucrative. Whatever 1380 rupees per MMBTU you are offering, so that will be lucrative. So that will be okay. Second challenge is that some producer is far away from the CGD network. That is biggest challenge. One producer approach from Punjab that they are having capacity of 32 TPD, but their offtake is only around 7 TPD because the nearest RO is having that much capacity, CGD network is far away. So, and again, the mandate is coming that they cannot go beyond the 5% mixing. So it will take all those things, so that will challenge. So before if any producer want to put such a large size of the CBG plant, certainly they have to also ascertain how to offtake, because they might be not consider this 32 PD how we consume locally. So these are the big challenge too.
Thank you. Thank you, Yadav. Bashir, coming to you, you mentioned in your opening comments one of the challenges about the feedstock. So if you can just elaborate for the understanding of the audience as well, uh, where and what all aspects in this entire feedstock management is the challenge, because it starts from the farm, it's got post-harvest, equipment, it has got something to do with warehousing, just-in-time deliveries, manpower, skill. So covering all aspects of a value chain, where exactly are you facing challenges? Because 100 plants in a time frame which you have embarked upon will take a lot of pressure of this particular upstream challenge. Yeah, you may not have other challenges of technology per se, because it'll come at some PLF, it'll work. You will not have money problems, but this is a very big issue, and I see it because I've been interacting with a lot of bigger players, and they come out with this particular nuanced challenge. So if you can elaborate that per se, and one follow-up question I will ask you in the next round, just remember it for the sake of it, is to because there are a lot of young people here, what kind of a business model, not going into the details of your Reliance's secret trademarks there, but what kind of a business model generally would you suggest to entrepreneurs to take up? And that question also remains for you, Atul, if you can help the entrepreneurs towards the last part of the session. So over to the challenge first, the feedstock part.
I think, Rohit, you are the best person to answer this question.
Oh, that's okay. But today you will answer
Anyways, I will add.
because you
Yeah.
said that it's your problem as well.
Yeah, it's my problem. I defined the problem statement. Uh, yeah, it's a very interesting question. Like when we talk about CBG, we are only talking about technologies, right? But backward forward linkages are also equally important to make it in a business case. So the backward linkage is availability of feedstock. We talk about 600 million metric tons of waste or the biomass or agri residue is available. There are various numbers, but I'm just throwing some numbers. Uh, but how to aggregate it and bring it to the plant? That is a big challenge. Today, if you see in the entire country, except in Punjab, I don't think there is an ecosystem available for an biomass, the paddy straw or whatever agri residues aggregation. So there is no formal supply chain working here. So it's all an informal way of working. It's a need based. And typically, even in Punjab, because of these biomass power plants, some sort of ecosystem has been developed. But today, our focus is like other states like UP, MP, any other state if you take, uh, there is no formal, supply chain available for this, number one. Number two, the land holding of each farmer, if you see in India typically, it is as less as 2 acres. So we cannot expect a 2 acres farmer to venture into it, right? So someone has to aggregate these farmers, do this aggregation, and connect it with the uh, projects or the plants. So those type of entrepreneurs are not available. There's a big opportunity is here. Like every project, wherever, if you're talking about, say, even if I take 100,000 projects. So for these 1,000 projects, where is the supply chain available? Absolutely zero today, except in some states like Punjab and UP, where little bit of people have gone into it. So there is a huge opportunity here to the young entrepreneurs. Second thing is the quality of the feedstock. So while aggregating the feedstock, the quality is also matters. So because every technology is sensitive about the quality, what we are feeding into it, right? Otherwise, what we have to do is we have to spend a lot of money on the pre-treatment of the waste. This holds good for the biomass or the paddy straw as well as for the sugar press mud also, because every sugar industry has its own technology, and based on this, because they want to extract as much as juice possible. So now the technologies are coming, very advanced technologies, where the biopotential of the press mud is coming down slowly, right? So we cannot blindly take the press mud, and we have to see the biopotency of this press mud. So quality of feedstock. Then the aggregation time versus its utilization. So the window available for aggregation is very limited, hardly 1 month, 1.5 months. But it, we have to aggregate the quantity required for the entire year in 1.5 months and then store it to protect its biopotency or the quality. So this is again a challenge. So the window available for aggregation is limited. Then storing that material for the entire year is the next challenge. So if you connect all these dots, a integrated aggregation model where it can provide or solve the supply chain problems of the plants is a very big opportunity. And I think Rohit is also like he spent majority of his life in this. So you can also
I will surely,
explain.
I will
Yes,
surely
please,
talk about
please
it.
interact. So this is a huge opportunity for the. Then second opportunity is the energy crops. So there are a lot of barren lands, okay? So where farmers may not be getting the returns what they expect. So those lands can be converted for the energy crops. Now we have very good efficient technologies. Government is supporting irrigation systems. So those lands where we don't have a return, proper return on the investment or for the farmers, those lands can be encouraged for the energy crops near to the CBG projects.
Thank you. Thank you, Bashir. And coming to you, Adul, I think we have seen the journey of the solar world, wind energy, and with economies of scale, we have seen the cost coming down, right? But however, once you work on those segments, there is a definite output, whether it's electricity or some energy, it's a definite one single source of output. Whereas going into CBG or tomorrow into ethanol in this bioenergy journey, biofuel journey, there are a lot of intermediaries, there are a lot of final derivatives, which also have value, right? That's on one hand. On the other hand, the aspirational value of the farmers, and you must have read in some news channel I was seeing the other day, there was a demand from the farmers of Punjab at a particular cost for the parali itself, which is very exorbitant, if I may say that way. So people see it as an opportunity to earn money as well. So upstream, it's a money value. Downstream, there are many scopes for the industry to offtake derivatives and create a niche product. For example, something can be as niche as 100 grams of a product which sells in Paris for a perfume at many $100 directly. So you have that capability and potential. So how do you see the scope of the cost coming down in the bioprocessing world, and whether it's processed for CBG today or any other biofuel, and how big a role will these derivatives play in cost subsidizing? And if you have some suggestions around that from your learnings currently, we can take that ahead.
Yeah. So I think first I will talk about raw material. What Bashir has explained, that's the fact of the industry today. If I have to add one or two points from my side in terms of our nature of operations, fortunately, we are in Namakkal district. We have thousands of chicken poultry farms there. So 30% of our feed is chicken litter, and 70% we are on press mud. So we can see that expectation not only from farmers but from industry as well. It is growing. Earlier, it was an sort of a last vestige for sugar industry. They will be happy if somebody will come and you remove at your own at no cost. Now today, that become a part of revenue stream for them. So if I have to tell you from last 4 years, the every year over year, the raw material cost is growing at the rate of 4% to 7%. and the other way, by the obligation, the satat price is fixed. So you don't have an sort of uh, uh, way there whereby you can at your own increase that cost. So that limitation is there. Today we have an sort of very limited plants. Even we talked about say 3,000 numbers of plant in next 5 6 years in the country. We are in country of 760 districts today. Okay, so by this broad calculation, we'll be having 4 5 numbers of plant in each district. If today we are facing this type of challenges in terms of raw material, just imagine what will happen in the coming days. Okay, that's how a policy in terms of stabilizing the raw material supply chain is highly desired. And it's not only how to control the raw material, there has to be some minimum sort of uh, mechanism in place by state government that the prices of raw material has to be linked with the final prices of the CBG sale. Otherwise, it will become a sort of highly competitive market, and whatever the asset and infrastructure we have put in, it will not have an raw material available to process it in the coming days. We have been realizing this with a few of the biggest investment of the country today, and it may be a bigger challenge for industry in terms of this CBG industry tomorrow. So we want that part to be regulated. Coming back to policy, which is correlated here, I just wanted to say, Rohit ji, that UP, if it is a model policy today, why can't majority or on national basis, those policies can be further modernized and large part of it can be standardized. Then you have an land availability from state government, you have a long lease arrangement so that you can stabilize your business for the longer period. You have a control mechanism over the raw material. You have an state subsidy and support for initial days. You have an taxation and other support from the central government. Apart from the CBG, CG decentralization scheme and other thing which Mr. Yadav was talking about. So if this type of environment and mechanism in place, then only we will be in position to have an sort of smooth functioning of the raw material. Because raw material is the must. If the industry has to stabilize and grow, it will not happen without raw material.
Just to highlight two issues which Atulji has raised. The constant ask from the industry to the governments is to fix a price either related to the sale point of the commodity or otherwise. Unfortunately, it may not work in our country. And the reason being that for the food grains, we are all aware that we have a MSP laid out. I'm not too sure if any government, because it's a state subject as well, is going to put its finger into this pie to control the rates of the thing. And that is where the fear comes in the CBG sector. I'll tell you why. Initially, I mentioned the three segments where the biomass can go, right? Boilers, conversion into biofuels, and other ancillary usage. A project for CBG requires, say, at an X cost. I'm just saying hypothetically, if its viability is at 3 rupees today, that's the delivered price, or 3.25 you're looking at to come to your plant to be a little more reasonable. However, if I am an industry which is going to make those coconut frond straws and sell to Dubai, I may take that same waste at 6 rupees. Maybe an IKEA which wants to go global with bigger plans of straw-based furniture can pay a little more delta on it and take away the same thing. So the problem is that we don't have the command zones legislated by the state, which say that in this particular area of 3 districts or 2 districts or single district, how many kinds of what volume biomass usage plants can come up. So today you can plan for 100 CBGs like Reliance is, and you fix the geographies around the country with your preliminary search, but you're not there to stop somebody else to come next to your plant and put 100 tons per day briquetting plant to serve 3 industrial areas in the vicinity. Similarly, there is no checks and balance in that accord. So that is something which is an ask. Second is, like you say, to standardize processes, and one has experienced this in many policy enunciations across the energy spectrum. Again, it's not a problem, it's a structure. The federal structure takes energy into the pocket of the states. So while the government, MNRE, MOPNG are very proactive in giving the policy from the top, its ratification into the state is something which still is a challenge. It takes its own time, it takes its own deliberation, and that is where we can talk about very seriously about this, because energy no more in the future is going to be something which is limited to a state. It's going to be a holistic approach to the energy security of the country. Like defense is a central subject, I believe energy security, and more than often than not spoken about, even water security, is finally going to go into the realm of a national level, playing field. It cannot be left to the states, and I hope we see the day sooner than later, so we can move this idea as well, because these are tough conditions ahead. I'll give you example of Israel, and many of you know 3 decades back, Israel had a similar problem. It ran short of the hands which could feed, so agriculture went down, and they revived their policies. They changed their farming patterns, and today Israel produces a commodity or a product in agriculture which actually it exports to earn the revenue, right? So similarly to energy plantation, was Bashirji was saying, and Adani is going whole hog with all kinds of EOIs today, proposing that. The matter remains, whose skin in the game you want, right? If a project developer, and I'm saying it with a lot of sincerity, does not have ownership of or part ownership of the upstream value chain or the supply chain, it won't work after 3 to 4 years or maybe 2 years. So that is the problem today. So the ownership of the project. I'll give you one example, no names. One company, I did a lot of survey around an area, southern states, and trying to establish, a biofuel plant. And everybody wants the biomass to come to their, factory every day in the morning, whereas the cropping patterns Bashir was saying was very less. So yes, North India, 20, 30 days, take it or leave it, or it's burnt. And South India, maybe 2 cropping cycles, extend to about 5 to 6 months. East is a little better, not explored too much, because their maize and rice actually have 3 cropping cycles as well. So if you actually plan your business models correctly along the geography of the country, you'll get it right. And the problem remains, nobody wants to get their, Shuklaji said, hands dirty. I would go a step further. You got to get your boots also dirty. You can't wear this glossy looking shoe and do this business at all. So I have not to say I'm only in this shoe, I'm in the other shoe as well a lot of times, and a longer time actually. But that's the way it goes. So I'll dwell on more this. Let's come to you, Sunilji, because you are the EPC kind of a person in the panel today. So a business model which the country is talking about is the triple P model for a long time. How have you accepted that, and what are your views around this model, especially in the EPC boot model sector? And what are the challenges you face? And if you were given an opportunity today to ask the government, the state or the center government, in terms of their part of the P, right? The public part, not the private. Private is you. What would you ask them to support businesses like your group's business?
Hello. Thanks, sir. I have small PPT and a video with example which can support this statement. Okay?
Right. So,
yes.
So while you load that,
Yes.
while you load that,
Right.
What I'll do is you load that. It's
Right.
already loaded there.
Yes. It is already there.
Good. You got a lot of infiltration into the IBA group. You loaded the
Thank you.
presentation as well. Nice.
Yeah.
So please take that stage and take about 3 minutes to. I hope it's not a long PPT.
No. It is only 7-8 slides.
Answering the question.
Pardon?
Answering this question of the model which I asked you.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Yes. It just explains the model in which the governments are the...
Just about 3 minutes. Then I will give about 2 minutes to him. And then I want
Yes.
actually a long-term Q&A, because a lot of seminars I've attended, By time it comes to the moderator towards the end, we always say that we're on short of time. So let's take about 5-6 minutes between the three of us now, and then let's open the floor, because the floor will also give us a lot of ideas.
Oh.
All yours.
Yeah, this is one of the initiative from the NDDB. So you can see that 100 TPD cow dung to biogas plant, which has been set up in Varanasi. It is basically explains the initiative from the governments in which way they have to move ahead. So it is actually the combined project from the NDDB and the IDMC. IDMC is like a subsidiary of the NDDB. Okay, you can go to the next slide. Directly, you can go to the video. Yeah. These are the highlights of the project. You can see that cow dung is 100 tons per day, and the parameters for total solids, volatile solids. Then you can look at their output. The biogas generation 4,000 cubic meter per day. The methane content is around 55 to 60%. Then the potential biopower generation, that is they want the power for their dairy. So there is around 200 kilowatts per day, and the steam generation 2,500 kg per hour. This is the total different configuration. So as per the customized requirements, it is done. Then the important point is we get biomanure, that is from phosphate-rich organic manure, 30 tons per day. What Shuklaji is highlighting. So this is a highlight of the project. This is I would say the very important factor, and we get the high quality from granule manure here. Then along with it, we get the liquid fertilizer, almost 40-80 cubic meter per day. So these are the few products of the project. Okay, so I'll come back. You can close it.
Thank you for that presentation. So now can we have, what kind of policy
Yes.
requirement you would have from the state governments?
So while we have the very good experience with the central government agencies and few of the very good subsidiaries, NDDB, IDMC, and we even work with Amul. We have a very good experience, and they have taken a lot of initiative to start the project, install the project, run it efficiently, and showcase it to the whole community to make it replicate it and make it as a successful business model. While in other hand, we have a very unfortunate experience with some state government agencies, like one of the UIT in Rajasthan, where they don't want to run the project, they don't want to proceed in the project, they have started it. So unfortunately, the total matter went into legal subjudice. So that is the experience. So that is why we still have some kind of agitation to do the government kind of projects, while central government and other subsidiaries, they are doing very good encouragement. Some of the state governments, so still they don't have that good initiative or the very good support mechanism not in place. That is why. So while coming back to the private sector, we have very good experience in the private sector. At this moment, I would say we always prefer to go with the private sectors, where the support mechanism there, the EPS model, or the a JV model, or even in the boot model, we have been doing many projects in the private sector, which are very successful. I would say it may take some more time for the government agencies to come up and have the good support mechanism in place.
Thank you. I'll ask you about that litigation in the break. Coming to you, you're my favorite for a long time. So your views about what policy enunciation? Same question, no change. Not technology-wise, but otherwise you have seen this industry for a little longer time. What policy enunciations at the state level are you looking at?
As we have heard the Secretary UP recently. So they have initiated such a policies which are helping to the farmers, to the industry. Hello. Yeah. Hmm. So as in the morning we have learned from the UP Minister Secretary, he already mentioned that the state is running certain policies. And we know when there is an initiative from central government as well as state government, then such a things will be feasible. And looking at the potential of the various substrate available, the waste available in the country, which can be harnessed to the wealth, such an initiative will definitely help. We know the journey started from 2018, Satat. Earlier, this was not the industry. We are just working towards a household plant, and Shuklaji has also mentioned that thing. So when such a policy like sustainable alternative to affordable transportation came into picture, the industry player will come. And then the reliability of the technology will also evolve. And when such all this will be mixed together, then the successful industry will take its own shape. Looking at the gas economy, we are also working in the same sustainable solution providing, because we are looking at the backward integration also. So starting from monomer, polymer to hollow fiber and giving the right product solutions. And as we are aware that green hydrogen is also coming into big picture, but the commercial feasibility is currently the challenge. And industry and the ministry government is working together basically to reduce the cost of operation, at the same time to make certain policies which will benefit. From industry perspective, what I can say at Evonik, we are working with innovative membranes, ion conducting membrane, Durion, which are helping to reduce the entire investment as well as operating cost of the electrolyzer, so that it can be feasible and it can take its own shape. Because we can say hydrogen is a big hope in coming days. So bioenergy, biogas and hydrogen, they are coming together and we are looking a good renewable energy mix.
Thank you. So one very short question to the three center forwards we have who have projects going on. So starting with you, Bashir ji, and coming towards Sunil ji. There is one point in time in the upstream where you give money to the input provider. So whether it's cow dung, whether it's litter, whether it's biomass, you are giving money to somebody to take that feedstock as your input. Beyond that, how is your project contributing to the rural development? Just in very short, 30 seconds each.
I think it's creating employment.
Employment,
Yeah.
right.
Then, like we are missing, like Shuklaji mentioned, we are missing important aspect of it is the FOM.
Right.
So FOM will create a lot of, rural economy or circularity, because the lesser you transport and you get the more realization and it will benefit, right? So ultimately what I see is the ecosystem will evolve in such a way that we will move towards circularity.
Got it.
Don't see the project in isolation. It's a complete ecosystem,
Right.
what we are talking about. So that circular ecosystem, that circularity will generate lot of rural economy itself, right?
Absolutely.
Whether it's in employment or the FOM or sale of CBG locally, right?
Right.
And also we have not touched upon the CO2 part, right? So there is another opportunity available in the CO2 side, carbon dioxide. That also will slowly people will bring into utilization. It has its own advantages.
Atulji, anything to add?
Yeah, I think the role of rural youth in terms of the supply chain management. So that's a bigger opportunity for them. Then bio FM. So there is a huge potential. Chuklaji also talked about it, and I honestly support his thoughts. So this industry has to have an integration with the biomanure. So recently there is one step ahead and support from Government of India, that some market development assistant they are starting. It's already declared. However, we need to really value that product in terms of the bio-FM. It's adding a lot of value to the soil preservation, and that is going to help us in terms of in longer way. One more sort of industry request from my side: when we are basically framing the policies, we have to see this product as an green product, and that value has to be given to this product. If you see it as an alternate product, I am using FO, I need a product 10% lesser than FO. I am using LPG, I need a product 20% lesser than LPG. So then we are not really giving value to this product. This product is coming as a part of larger supply chain management, as a part of larger initiative by our nation. We are one of the largest country today in terms of sizing. We are fourth largest economy. We will be going to be there as a third largest economy soon. So we have a larger role to play. So in that aspect, our policies and framework has to be in such a way that we have to value this product as a green product.
Thank you. Sunilji, anything to add to the farmers part? What more are you doing or could you do?
Biogas is the future of India. I would say biogas is the future of India. There are three reasons. If you don't do this solar project, nothing happens, no emissions, for the sake of it, okay? If you don't handle waste in a proper way, if you don't treat our waste in a proper way, definitely it is going to emit the methane, which is 22 times harmful than the carbon dioxide, which is going to harm our environment. That's the first factor. The second factor, it is going to create a ecosystem, a circular economy, which is very much essential for the rural upliftment, as Bashirji told us. The third one, it is going to give us back the very good fermented organic manure, which is a PROM, phosphate-rich organic manure, which has got very good value and which is going to reduce our dependence on the chemical fertilizers, make us self-reliant, make in India. So one more slogan we can say. So this is a very much important for the rural upliftment, which is fertilizing the our soils.
Thank you. One last question to Yadavji from GAIL. So big ticket projects, Reliance, Adani, off-takers are the OMCs, and the idea is to commercialize that project and use it in the country and probably sell it if possible. There are also systems which are already developed in the country in the rural spaces, especially we don't talk about the economically backward states, where people are using the same feedstock for creating small non-purified biogas plants and using that gas for domestic use around them as well. So challenge A, it is taking away the part of the feedstock, which is part of the larger requirement of various streams which we talked about. Do you see there going to be a sort of a competition in the two requirements of commercial scale CBG plants by the corporate sector and small scale rural plants for the rural sector, or how's it going to pan out in the future?
Exactly, I'm not able to understand your query. That competition between rural and small sector
the
and
competition between for the feedstock, because if you're going to put a CBG plant, say Reliance, in a particular rural belt, they're trying to look at biomass, cow dung, whatever, they're going to look at that technology, that input. The same is currently being used and scaled up as we speak for smaller self-sustainable kind of projects as well in the same villages, right? So how do you see it?
see, there we are, everything we survive on the base on the competition. And first time farmers are going to have a bargaining power. Till now they are not having the bargaining power.
That bargaining power is scaring Reliance and
They are having
the global
all,
OMCs.
all the big corporate are having the bargaining power. But by converting the agri residue in the profitable CBG, so certainly the farmer will have the bargaining power.
Thank you.
So certainly there will be competition.
I don't
And
think
we
there will
have
be
to
competition.
live with that.
They'll be your best friends soon. Anyway, so how many startup or entrepreneurs here who are seeing CBG as a business model to grow themselves? How many are entrepreneurs here? Right. So quite a good amount of you. You heard the challenges, right? And you're entrepreneurs and you're going into the domain to set up plants or probably pick up one value chain to contribute to. So let's hear some voices from you first to say what challenges you are facing today in the sense of putting up a bioenergy, sector related, any project or a plant or a value chain service. Anybody, please, any entrepreneur. Or you're all set up for a $1 billion dream already. Yeah, please. What challenges are you currently facing? And it could be any spectrum, whether the banks are not looking at your financing or FIs are not looking at it. We all are aware of AIF, Agricultural Infrastructure Fund. Like that, there are many other schemes which the government has taken out. And if I see that those schemes, they are not one single stitch scheme for a particular value chain or service, but there are segmented, but they are available. So just your, challenges first, please. You introduce yourself, which state you belong to, and what are your challenges.
So good morning to all the members who are present over here.
And I'll give this opportunity to at least 5-10 of you, and keep it about 30 to 45 seconds only, please.
Okay.
And don't repeat a point.
Sure. I am Chaitanya and I am from Hyderabad, Telangana. I am in a ideology of starting a 2.5 tons of CNG per day. Presently, I am, I am working on this project from the last 1 year, looking at the technology part and then the investment part. So first challenge, what I'm facing is, I am in a plan to start this project with press mud and poultry litter as my raw material. But some challenges what I'm facing is, in southern part of India, in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, there is no continuous running of sugar industries. We don't know when the plants are running and when they are getting shut down. So the production is not so stable. That is one point. We don't have regular supply or any MOUs we are getting from the sugarcane industries. That is one thing. And one more thing is collecting of poultry litter. Poultry people, they are not giving litter on daily basis or every alternative 2-3 days basis. So that just after their complete cycle of 45 days, when the birds are leaving, only they are able to take that.
Got your point.
Yeah.
So basically 2 points. One is a feedstock point, one is an off-take point.
Correct.
Right? Guarantee for off-take
Yes.
and feedstock. Any other entrepreneur?
And
Entrepreneur.
One more point I want to bring is, I also worked out on the Napier grass part. I have spoke to some of the farmers, and then I have taken around 100 to 150 acres of land, and then I wanted to start the cultivation. But but I am not clear on the technological part because I didn't see any Napier grass based plant which is commercially working and working out on all the economics. I was not able to see that, at least in our Indian region.
So technology and financial model added.
Yes.
Right. Any other entrepreneur? Yeah, please. Your home state is?
My home state is Bihar, Patna. So I'm looking for a company who can devise a project report for me and work out on the different commercials and the kind of support system I'm looking from the government. Different departments are involved. So I tried doing it at my personal level, but it was not going in the right direction, I felt. There were different roadblocks. I tried discussing it with the different government organizations.
So you're basically starting up and you want a DPR to start and to understand
Correct,
the system,
correct.
right?
There was a company.
You are in the right place. IBA representatives are here. They'll guide you completely. Join
Sure.
them.
Great, great.
Right. Any other entrepreneur first? Please, aap boliye. I think you are as young as an entrepreneur I am. Because I also made a startup at 50. So you're elder.
Good morning, all of you. My name is Baby Kedake Fagam, Aware Executive Director, Calicut, Kerala. We focusing fecal waste treatment based on biogas plant. We commissioned 250 plants in Kerala. The raw material is a toilet waste. It's a fecal waste. All are in success. Recently commissioned medical college. The community level living places, we focused this, avoid the septic tank and we treat the fecal sludge. That our project recommended by the state government to three departments, one in CSR in Tirunelveli, one IIT Palakkad and NIT Calicut. We want this technical report. That is we
Sure.
support.
That is not a problem in the community you have here. That is the easiest thing you will get. Yes, you're an entrepreneur. Please go ahead. We'll take this as last entrepreneur because I think 4 or 5 segments are through, starting from DPR till your offtake. Yeah.
This is Shubham Avari from Maharashtra, Ahmednagar. Can I directly ask the question or just?
Yeah, I was coming to that next stage. You got 5 targets to shoot at, and I'm complimentary. Please ask.
Okay. Actually, I'm looking into setting a plant in Maharashtra on the Napier or press mud. Currently, my problem is that I don't have any benchmark set for purchasing of that feedstock. Farmers are connected with me, but
How many?
What will and hundreds of it. Like,
Now, neither of the farmer is producing press mud nor Napier, right?
No, right now no one is producing anything, but they have experience in that because they use Napier for the feeding of cow. Okay.
Right.
So how much will be the purchasing cost? Because Reliance is setting 100 plants. They
How
might
much be what the cost of the Napier to you?
Yes, because when Reliance will set up 100 plants, they will set up some kind of benchmark.
Please sit. I will spend 10 minutes with you personally. I'll tell you the cost. Right. Any other questions for the panel, please? Anybody? You can shoot at any target from right to left. At will. Yes, please. And please keep your questions to just about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Question is a question, right?
That's right.
We don't want any understanding, no bhumikas, no scopes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Question.
There had been a lot of discussion on the part, the upstream part. That is, how do we arrange for the feedstock? But I have a question on the downstream part, and that is related to the purification or upgradation of the biogas and convert it into biomethane. There are quite a few technologies available, but in particular, I would like to know which is the kind of technology which could be more viable in context of
What your
India.
question? So, any suggestions for technology? Either by the brand or by the type of technology, you can say about both.
No, I'm not promoting any brands here, but there are 3-4 technologies we can definitely evaluate. One is membrane technology. Second one is PSA. Third is amine technology. Fourth is water-based technology. There are 4 technologies available. Every technology has its own advantages and disadvantages.
So let's get to the brass tacks. Reliance is putting in all 4, money on all 4, or a couple of you have selected?
We are right now going for membrane and PSA.
Membrane and PSA. So note down those 2 because the money is worth it. Right. Next question. Yeah, please. Just ask. Just please get up and ask. Yeah.
Sir, actually we have discussed about what are the challenges.
What are the challenges?
What are the we have already discussed. But I would like to ask Atul sir, because he is having one plant running in Tamil Nadu. He
Ask.
Mentioned this. So what about its commercial viability? Your plant is running. Is it profitable? What is IRR? What you have studied? It is going on the track, or what are the things?
Atul, you want me to answer on behalf? It's a very simple answer.
Yeah.
IRR over the coffee, he can't tell you here, right? And plant running, nobody who's invested will tell you it's not running. So Atul, yours.
Yeah, since it's first plant of the country and technology those days was not at the level what it is today. So we have faced some initial challenges. However, our parent company, IOC, their R&D department, engineering department has supported a lot. And I can say you today that IRR in this business ranges from 12 to 18. If you are able to meet in between, then it's business for you to go. However, as the young friend is asking about the raw material pricing, benchmark, etc., it will be always a regional one.
Yeah.
What price you have in Satara and Kolhapur, that price may not be true in Nagpur, even in Maharashtra. Okay, so you have to see your back-to-back calculation, and don't take sort of copy and paste of IRR models, etc. You have to have your own thoughts and your own model. Otherwise, the
Absolutely.
it will not be a fit for all sort of arrangement.
Thank you, Atul. Last question. Yes.
Yeah, I'm Vinod Tandon from Mumbai. So we, as a Keva Susbidi, setting up a plant at Nagpur, first time in Asia, of treating MSW to CBG with dry fermentation. So the question is here that, when we approach the bankers, they look it as a normal commercial project with the same parameter which they do for the commercial projects. Secondly, the taxation, like,
Which bank is this?
I can't name it here.
Okay. No,
So
you
there
can
are
name.
there are many
Which one?
bankers we are approached, and this is a big project and first of its kinds in Asia. We are putting in Nagpur with as a JV with the corporation. The project of 300 crores plus, but there is no taxation benefits. Like, when you import the machineries or put in machineries, 18% of tax get blocked. So around 18% is around 50 plus crores of taxes getting blocked. So I think we need to really work to think on that part so that money can be used.
Your point
in the
taken.
project. Yeah,
Your
thanks.
point taken. You can submit that point to IB as well. But I'm quite surprised you're coming from Mr. Gadkari's town, and you have problems. I mean, then you're not a friend of Mr. Gadkari, probably, right? Yeah. So with that, we will probably end the session, and we have ample time after the next session is over lunch to interact with the panelists as well. So thank you everybody for your time, and thank you the esteemed panelists for wonderful taking the questions which are not curated for probably the occasion directly, but it came up from your answers and queries around. Thank you very much, the organizers as well.
Thank you so much, distinguished speakers of the session. Thank you so much, moderator of the session, for wonderfully conducting and concluding the session. We would like to present a memento to our distinguished members of the dais. May I request the moderator of the session to kindly present mementos to our speakers. We'd like to present a memento to Shri S.N. Yadav. We'd like to present a memento to Mr. Bashir Shirazi. We also thank Mr. Atul Karate. We would also like to thank Mr. Sunil KM. We thank Mr. Ashish Maheshwari. And on behalf of Informa Market and Indian Biogas Association, we thank the moderator of the session. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as we thank Colonel Rohit Dev for his wonderful contribution, and we like to present a memento to him.